What's up guys, it's Sarah, and for today's presentation I'm going to be making chocolate chip cookies. You'll need 2 baking sheets, a spoon, measuring cup and measuring spoons, an extra bowl, 2 sticks of softened butter, baking soda and vanilla extract, 2 large eggs, salt, brown sugar, regular sugar, flour, and chocolate chips. And for today, I'm going to be using a stand mixer, but if you don't have one, just use a bowl. First, you're going to want to wash your hands with soap and water for at least a minute to make your hands nice and clean. That way we don't spread any germs. And don't forget to dry them off. Then you're going to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Alright, so while your oven is preheating, you're going to take that extra bowl and your measuring cup, and you're going to measure 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour and put that flour into the bowl. And while you're measuring, make sure you level out the flour so that you get the correct measurement. Alright, so once you've finished putting all the flour into your bowl, you're going to take the baking soda and you're going to measure 1 teaspoon of this, and you're also going to want to level this off. Alright, so now you're going to want to get your salt, and we're going to measure out a teaspoon of that and level it off again. I just kind of shake it to level it and dump it in the bowl. And then you're going to take that spoon and you're going to mix all of your dry ingredients together and set it to the side. Alright, so now we're going to move over to my stand mixer, and this is where we're going to start off with all of the wet ingredients. So we're going to put our 2 sticks or 1 cup of butter into the bowl. And make sure that the butter is softened before you start mixing. Alright, so now you're going to grab your sugar and we're going to measure out 3/4 of a cup of regular sugar, and you're going to dump that into the bowl and make sure you shake it to level it out. And then after you have your butter and your regular sugar in the bowl, you're going to turn your stand mixer on and lock it in place. And you're just going to mix the butter and the regular sugar together first. Alright, so now that your butter and your regular sugar is mixed together well, you're going to take your measuring cup and measure out 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Now with the brown sugar, you're going to pack it into your measuring cup. So you'll see me just kind of pushing in the little spoon and just making sure that the brown sugar is packed. Then we're just going to put our brown sugar to the side and put all that 3/4 cup of brown sugar into the stand mixer, lock it in place, and mix it all up. So now I'm just going to move everything out of the way so that I have enough room to work over here while the sugar and butter is mixing. And then once it's mixed, I'm going to stop the stand mixer and I'm going to measure out a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I do this over the bowl just in case it spills out. And then I'm just going to put the measuring spoons into the sink and put the vanilla extract to the side. Then you're going to lock your stand mixer in place, turn it on, and mix your sugar, butter, and vanilla extract together. This is what all of that should look like combined together. So now we're going to take our 2 eggs. You're going to crack one open and put it in the bowl, and we're going to do each egg one at a time. So I'm going to mix this first egg in, and then I'm going to crack the second one and add that egg in as well. Alright, and then while that's mixing, I'm just going to kind of clean up my area and put things to the side so that they're out of the way. This is what that'll all look like mixing together. Alright, so once all of that is mixed together well, I'm going to take that flour mixture that we had made before, and I'm going to do this in about thirds. So I'm going to pour in a little bit of flour mixture at a time and mix it together. And then while I'm doing this, I'm just going to kind of clean up my area so things are out of the way. And then if you notice that your mixture isn't really mixing together well, you can just push the batter off of the little spoon like mixer thingy and then add in more flour. Alrighty, so this is what all of that flour and the wet ingredients will look like mixing together. Alrighty, so once everything looks like it's mixed well together, I'm going to turn my stand mixer off and just push the batter off of the little mixy thing. And then this is where we're going to add in our chocolate chips. I usually don't measure out my chocolate chips, but I had enough for 2 cups out of this bag. So I do 1 cup and I mix it in, and then I'll pour the second cup and mix that in as well. And then again, I'm just going to push the batter off of the mixer. That way I'm not losing any of the batter. Alright, so once you have your cookie dough all mixed together and done, you're going to take a spoon and on your baking sheet, you're going to kind of roll your dough into little balls. And you want to get 12 of these on there. So don't make them too big and don't make them too small. And you'll see I just kind of like grab a little bit of dough with my hand. I mix it in a ball in between my hands, and then I just place it on the cookie sheet. you're going to go ahead and open up your oven, and we're going to place these cookies into the oven for about 10 minutes. Alright, so while those cookies are baking, I'm going to put all of my ingredients away, put everything that's dirty in the sink, and just clean up my area all together. Alright, so before those cookies are done, you want to get out some drying racks, or I use paper towels since I don't have any drying racks, and just lay them out so that you have somewhere to put your cookies after. So once I've cleaned up my area and I've got somewhere to put my cookies that are done, I'm going to restart the process of rolling up those cookies into balls and placing them onto the cookie sheet. That way I have a sheet ready to go to place into the oven. Alright, so once your cookies are done, they should look a little something like this. And you want to be careful when you take them out of the oven, so make sure you use oven mitts. And then you're just going to pull them out of the oven and place them down onto the counter. Alrighty, so after I've let my cookies cool for about 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to take a spatula and I'm going to take them off of the baking sheet and place them onto those paper towels I showed you guys earlier. So you're just going to repeat the process of rolling up the dough into balls, placing them in the oven, taking them out, and letting them cool until you don't have dough anymore. And then once all of your cookies have cooled off and they're done and edible, I just place them onto plates and then put some saran wrap over them to keep them nice and ready to eat. And that is how I make my chocolate chip cookies.